1 volt performs in the wind. There's not much information out there about it. Maybe because there are not many volts around in circulation, or maybe it's actually because where the volts are there's not enough wind. Well, we've got you covered on both of those departments here in the capital city of daily, endless, pointless wind, Wellington. Okay, here we go. So what I've got is the motor's up strong, as you would pretty much always do in the wind. Okay, first I'm just going to let you do it, see what it does when the wind hits it. It's going to take a bit of a beating. It's very windy today. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Knocking it off a bit. See how it's coming back. It's off again. Okay, now. Okay. Actually, this is quite good information there. What you see it doing, because the volt is made, but it's supposed to stop working when it goes far enough off horizon, because it presumes that's what you're wanting. So what you notice is it held for a while, and because I didn't correct it, then it got to the point where it thought, oh, stuff it, and it just let it go, okay? So, holding it down, a lot of wind here. So what I'm going to do is, I am going to help a little bit now, as I should, but mostly with the pan. Mostly with the pan axis, okay? Okay, why don't you walk backwards, and you got a clear run there. Yep. And I'm going to come a bit beside you here. Okay, stop. Come this way. Hold on. Come this way. Just watch it a bit again. So, one thing that's important to know is I've basically just been using my thumb and index finger to stop the pan, because the pan is not affected by the volt, of course. I actually have to tell them what to do. Generally speaking, this wind from my previous rig without a volt, you wouldn't have a volt to do it. The volt is actually quite amazing, I'm telling you right now. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to rotate around you now, just stay there. Oh. Okay, so what we got here, it's a little bit hard to control here. I am having to sort of stop it doing a few things. But all things considered, take a look. Give it a little bit of a chance. It certainly wants to go off that way a lot. There we go. Now it's going off the other way. The wind. There we go. Mostly the pan here. Ridiculous winds here. You know, especially if you see the subjects here blowing anyway, that justifies quite a lot of movement in the camera, but you could still get quite a dramatic shot. Cool. Okay, let's just do a bit of a I'm going to go into the wind now, into it, look, it's going from this way. Oh, I'll still film you in. Oh, no, I'll just do this. Okay. Okay, it's good to be back in the car. Obviously we chose an incredibly windy day to do this test for good reason. Also keep in mind, because this was a test, I was generally not trying to control the sled. I was letting the Volt do as much of the work as it could. If we were actually shooting and trying to get the best shot possible, using the Volt, as I hope you can see from the test, would give you a much better result than not using it. That's very clear, and it is a very powerful tool for that. So in summary, because the roll and tilt axes are supported by the Volt and the pan axis isn't, that is often going to be the axis you will need to control the most, the pan axis. But when it gets to the point where everything's going off, there's still the benefit in the fact that there is no pendulum. So while you are guiding that rig back to zero, it knows where it's going. It's not just bottom heaviness that's getting it there. It actually has the information to know where zero is. And when it gets there, it's not going to want to swing in the other direction. While you are trying to control that, when you then come to a stop, you don't have the pendulum. You don't have to worry about that. That is why you have more fingers to do less work. That's another beautiful thing about the Volt. So one more thing is, you know, one of the first shoots I ever did was really windy, and of course I was just learning, and I was like, well, don't shoot in the wind. Even just to get static balance was very difficult, because we were out sort of up on a hill. There was no shelter anywhere. Now where we were here, so I kind of had to get static balance, and then just trust it from then on. And you know, of course you need to keep tweaking things, but where we were here, because of the way the Volt works, we knew we had already neutral balance. We'd already done that before we got there. All I needed to do was hold the rig at zero, which was actually very hard, and push the unpause button, and it zeroed. But the funny thing is, we still never got a single moment to actually confirm that it was all working and it was on and it was locking into place, and yet we were able to go and do that, trusting that it was, and it really was. Also, just to let you know what was on the sled, it was actually a handy cam sitting on the lens support of a old Russian movie camera, Convas 1M. The entire setup was very light as far as what an M1 would usually hold. So I believe a heavier camera, kind that you'd more commonly use on an actual shoot, would also just have a bit more stability against the wind. The other thing about the Volt is, I consider the Volt as more of a sled upgrade rather than an extra sort of thing sitting on there. And the reason is because it makes your sled better, and you can still use all the other things that you can normally use at the same time. So antlers, for example, obviously you can use it at the same time, just adding more inertia to your roll and pan axes, a little bit to your tilt, but mostly your roll and pan, and it works just the same. It's just adding more inertia. If you put gyros on, just as an example, let's say you went into a tilt and the gyros were sort of going to hold that there, or, you know, make it come back very slowly, the Volt will just presume that's your hand forcing it there. So it will just do what it normally does when your hand does it, and that is not brake, and just push it against it to give you that simulated bottom heaviness. You could use a wave with the Volt, because a wave is simply ready to react to when a mistake happens. The Volt is there to prevent mistakes. If it did make a mistake, then the wave would react, and that would just give you, you know, it would be more and more and more kind of covering you for those mistakes. That is, of course, so long as you balance your wave correctly, where it is not too top heavy or anything where it is forcing the sled around the place, otherwise you just, that would be stupid. So yeah, but otherwise that's the Volt in the wind.